Hello everyone, Just Podcast TV is here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified on new contents.
Episode 247. The whole nation was in awe of old Watson. Zach's purpose of coming here was to use his connections to push this film to the throne of Best Film for the Golden Award, and then get the Golden Award. He had achieved his initial goal and fulfilled the last wish of Chester's life. However, after watching the film Old Watson, he gave up on doing so. Even though Jessica had found the contact details of the judges, he did not meet them again. It was not because there was a need for it, but because he realized that such an act was blasphemous. Blasphemous to old Watson and Chester, and even more so, blasphemous towards the film itself. What was more important than getting the little golden man was that this film was purely using the story to show its charm. This page of glory that Teacher Chester had written with his last breath was not to be mixed with any benefits. Therefore, Zach left. On the night he finished watching the movie, he boarded the latest flight and turned back to the country. He had previously thought that if a movie did not have good resources, no matter how good it was, it would be useless. But now, he didn't think so. A good movie is always a good movie. As long as it exists, it will shine like the sun. Unstoppable. In fact, it is indeed so. On the second day of the opening ceremony of the Golden Award, this movie was reported in all the newspapers around the world. Its penetrating power was like a sharp machete that swept across the world. Several authoritative media outlets even reported in unison, using the same sentence to express their evaluation of the film. This is the greatest film in human history! The existence of this film not only blossomed with its own brilliance, it also allowed the world to once again recognize this style of movies. The reviews of Old Watson are as good as the tide, and it is currently spreading all over the world. The whole world was cheering for Old Watson, and Lance's company share prices were also soaring. After all, they were also a joint production company of this movie, and as a newcomer in the industry, Dream Movies had become famous with one shot. As a newcomer film company, it had actually achieved such an achievement. It was indeed an impressive achievement. Compared to the various film and entertainment companies, their company's temperament was many times more elegant. As for the selection of the Golden Award, there was still 3 months left. However, at this moment, they had already stopped accepting movies and entered the final stage of the selection. Old Watson was very popular in the industry and had the potential to become the champion. The film was released in the country after it was released. Among the cheers from the outside world, the box office on the first day was out of everyone's expectations. However, there was one thing that was not bad, and that was that the audience that had watched it had left an extremely good reputation. However, it was precisely because of this that everyone had no choice but to suspect whether this movie would be reduced to the same state as other movies. Fortunately, on the second day, this kind of worry was killed by the box office. The box office turned upside down, and from 7th place in the same season, it jumped to 3rd place. On the 3rd day, it even stepped on the film of a famous entertainment director in the country. It went straight to the top of the list. The top of the list was an international film, and it had already been reduced to the 4th film. The rating was still high, and the box office was also high and mighty. However, on the 4th day of the box office sales, Old Watson had a comeback the moment it started, and then it was far ahead. The gap between them was getting bigger and bigger. This was almost impossible to see in the history of movies. It was simply unimaginable to use drama films to kill entertainment films. But the reality was like this. In just 7 days after the screening, the box office in the country had broken more than $2 billion. In the previous 2 years, a certain action film had been evenly matched, and it even seemed like it was going to be completely overshadowed. At this moment, even the old lady in the neighborhood was chatting about Old Watson because it was very close to life. On the internet, many netizens who were farming pirated versions started to go to the cinema to buy tickets. There were even netizens who posted photos on the internet saying, I'm a long-distance train driver. I saw pirated movies on the internet when I was resting. I'm sorry. I feel very guilty. I'm sorry for the main composer of the movie, and I'm even more sorry for the two elders. But I don't have time to go to the cinema and watch it again, so I bought a movie ticket from the internet after dinner today. Although I don't have time to go, I'll make up for it. This is my respect for my conscience, and for the two of you, old Watson. This post quickly became popular after being forwarded by the netizens, and many of them made up for it. Those who had time to go to the cinema would bring their family and friends to the movies. Those who had no time to go to the cinema would watch pirated movies, and then they would pay the remuneration of the movies by buying tickets online. Although it was only a small amount, although it was only a few dozen dollars, it was not much for everyone. This was the respect they had for the two old men and the real filmmakers. After half a month of screening, old Watson had taken the lead. The box office sales were so much that the other movies on the list couldn't even compare to it. A reporter went to interview the director and the lead actor of the film and asked, "Excuse me, what do you think about the film that killed your action film and broke the record?" Do I dare to think about it? No, I don't dare to think about it. I never thought that such an outstanding film would appear. I have watched this film in the cinema before. I was very touched and excited. Whether it's the idea of the story, the director's perspective, the actor's acting skills, or even the feelings of the entire movie, I feel that it's second to none. This is a super awesome movie. As an opponent, I admire it very much. As a filmmaker, I'm gratified and proud of it, because this movie represents us to charge into the world. It bears the responsibility of letting the world know our drama movies are once again very popular. If you insist on asking me how I feel about losing to such a movie, then I can tell you that I am willing to do so. I would rather see this kind of movie from now on. Even if there is no movies for me to film from tomorrow onwards, I will still be happy. The interview video of this director and the lead actor was spread crazily on the internet. While everyone was praising his acting skills, it had once again set off another wave of craze to watch old Watson. Now, almost everyone was talking about old Watson. After the release of the movie overseas, this movie had gone through many obstacles along the way. No one thought that it would surpass that Hollywood blockbuster. After all, there were too many excellent films from before that were not recognized overseas. But reality proved that the outstanding ones would never be rejected by the audience because of any nationality. Under the influence of the strong public's reputation, old Watson continued to maintain its unparalleled position within the country, killing everyone in the world. Even Hollywood blockbusters were easily cut off from their horses. The audience loved this movie too much. The originally low screenings were now high and mighty, wishing that they could continue one after another. As for the other movies, including the international movie, they didn't even have a chance to turn things around. 3 months later, the Little Golden Man Award ceremony finally began. Episode 248. It was a big deal. In 3 months, old Watson received almost all the nominations, such as Best Director, Best Actor, Best Screenwriter, and so on. Finally, they welcomed the award ceremony. Director Hamilton led the main creators to the venue, and Jessica, the producer, also came to the award ceremony. As the person who paid the most attention to this movie, Zach was no exception. The 9-time Golden Award, the Best Photography Award, and the Old Watson. The 9-time Golden Award, Best Screenwriter Award, Old Watson. The 9-time Golden Award, Best Director Award, Old Watson. 9-time Golden Award, Best Actor Award, Old Watson. The 9-time Golden Award, Best Film, Old Watson. Out of the 7 major Golden Awards, excluding the Best Art Design and Best Actress Award, the rest were all in old Watson's bag. There was no doubt in the thunderous applause. It could be said that everyone was looking forward to it. Even a famous Hollywood director, who was the guest of the award ceremony, kept clapping. He praised this film for being a rare masterpiece. Art originates from life and surpasses life. This is the best explanation for this film. I watched it 3 times, and every time, it made me feel different emotions. It came from old Watson's feelings in the film, from old Watson's feelings outside the film, and from Chester's portrayal of it all. I once publicly announced that drama movies are not popular at all. Today, I once again solemnly apologize to drama movies. I'm very sorry. I feel incomparably ashamed of what I said in the past. The Best Actor award was received by Jessica on his behalf. She had prepared a lot of words under the stage, but when she came on stage, holding the Golden Statue Award for Chester, she was so excited that she could not speak. In the end, Jessica did not say a single word of her acceptance speech. She just silently shed tears. And there was thunderous applause from below the stage. This was the most impressive acceptance speech since the Golden Award was established. Jessica did not say anything, but she received close to 5 minutes of applause, which lasted for a long time. After the day's award ceremony ended, everyone went to the celebration banquet together. It was very lively. There were cheers, and they also missed the crying of Chester. Everyone was very impudent, and they completely indulged themselves. As a result, when the banquet ended, each and every one of them was crooked and crooked. Zach, on the other hand, was better. He wanted to find an opportunity to talk with him in front of the old home, so he didn't drink too much. It was also because of this reason that he, the big boss, became the driver of everyone and sent everyone back one by one. In the end, there were only 2 people left in the car, him and Jessica, who had vomited until there was nothing left to vomit. At this time, Jessica was already unconscious. She directly collapsed under the seat of the car. After sending everyone up, Zach finally sent Jessica back to her own guest room. After sending Jessica, Director Hamilton, and the others off, Zach did not leave in a hurry. Instead, he called the old fox because he found that there was no news about his parents on the little golden man statues. Episode 249. What a strong hand. After the call connected, Zach asked the old fox, "Where is the news you mentioned? I have already gotten the little golden man." The old fox said happily, "Well done! I watched the live broadcast last night. You won 5 out of 7 awards. Tisk tisk!" Zach enjoyed the old fox's praise, but compared to now, he wanted to know more about his parents. After asking again and again, the old fox said, "You were the one who told me the news. I didn't tell you that I kept it in the little golden man's stomach. You just need to put it in the little golden man's stomach." Zach was stunned. "It took me more than half a year to get this. You want me to smash it?" The old fox asked back, "Isn't the result used to break it? Don't tell me you want to immerse yourself in this glory forever." Zach suddenly understood. "Thank you, Grandpa. I understand." The old fox's education was omnipresent. Even in terms of details, there would always be a meaning behind it. However, this little golden man, Zach, would never break it. He had yet to return and tell Chester about it. After catching the second flight, Zach also returned to the country. However, just as he got off the plane, a call came from the dealership side, so his car was ready. He could get the keys at any time. Originally, they had agreed that he would get the keys in half a year's time. However, he did not expect that he would get the keys in just 3 months' time. It was quite fast. However, Zach wasn't in a hurry to pick up the car. He was even more anxious to go to Chester's house. The next day, when he came to Chester's house, Zach opened the door and went to Chester's last photograph. "Old man, your wish has been fulfilled. I didn't use any strength or contact you. This Golden Statue Award is something you guys got with your own abilities. I'll bring it here today and tell you about it. I'll let you take a look at it as well. Just now, on the way down the plane, I heard from the radio that this is the honor of your country's culture. You are also the pride of your country. I want to give you the Certificate of Honor and a Lifetime Achievement Award. Although you can't receive it, it's still alright. You finally received recognition. Sitting in front of Old Man Chester's memorial, Zack said a lot. After muttering for more than half an hour, Zack wiped away his tears and then said to Old Man Chester, I broke this trophy because there was news about my dad and my stepmother inside. Please don't blame me for disrespecting this trophy. Actually, you can think about it from another angle. I have to smash it. You can appreciate it there too, right? Zack took out his cigarette and lit it. Then he fiercely swung the little golden man and fell to the ground with a bang. The little golden man was not pure gold. It was just gold-plated. However, it was also made of alloy, so it looked small, but it weighed 8 pounds. With Zack's fall, the little golden man was fine, but a piece of the ground brick had cracked. He had no choice but to go to the tool cabinet to rummage through the boxes and cabinets, and then find a steel saw. Thus, the most tragic little golden man in history had been ravaged today and brutally torn apart by the steel saw. Looking at the pitiful man, Zack took out an iron box from the little golden man's stomach, and then closed it. It looked like that too. If one didn't look closely, they wouldn't be able to see the cutting line clearly. When he opened the iron box, there was nothing inside, not even any dust. Zack was surprised, but then he realized that there was a QR mark on the iron box. He didn't know how he got it. The old fox is really fashionable. He used a QR mark to send a red packet, and he even used a QR mark to send a message. He solved the problem with just one phone call. And he didn't even find it troublesome. What an unnecessary move. Zack muttered to himself, then he scanned through the phone. In the end, he found that he couldn't scan it out. He couldn't even exchange it for a few apps. He suddenly realized that an ordinary app definitely wouldn't be able to work on such a careful message. Thus, he unlocked the customized system and scanned again. This time, he found something. Your father once set foot in the automotive industry when he was young. When you get the world's annual Wind and Cloud Car Award, you'll get new clues. Zack was stunned. What kind of clue was this? He called the old fox to protest. Your information is too unreliable. You're cheating me. The old fox chuckled and replied, Ha ha! There are too many clues. I've forgotten which one it is. Repeat it to me. Zack replied snappily, the one that asked me to get the annual Wind and Cloud Car Award. My father once researched cars, so you asked me to study cars. Could it be that he researched other things, and you want me to study it too? The old fox replied solemnly, What you said makes sense, but... Zack still wanted to say something, but the old fox stopped him. If you want to investigate, then do it. If you don't want to investigate, then forget it. Anyway, that's my son, not my father. After saying that, the old fox hung up the phone, making Zack very depressed. It seemed like it really made sense, and Zack didn't even have the chance to refute it. This is depressing. It's like being walked by a dog, being walked around by an old fox like you. Zack had once paid attention to the World Annual Wind and Cloud Car Awards. It was organized by an independent and non-profit organization, the WCA, and it represented the highest level of car evaluation in the world. This selection included the World Annual Wind and Cloud Auto, the World Annual Luxurium, the World Annual Vehicle, and the World Annual Design. World Annual Vehicle, 6 major awards. The information required for the World Annual Wind Cloud Carriage was only one of the major awards. As for what the right to win the award was, Zack wasn't too sure yet. However, it seemed like the sales weren't the main ones. Just as he was thinking about this, the door opened. Zack thought that Old Man Chester's son had returned to tell the old man the good news about the award. However, he didn't expect that the one who opened the door was Mariah, and she was also holding a little golden man in her hand. It was very obvious that this was the best male lead that Old Manchester had won. I guess that you might be here. Mariah smiled after entering the room. She walked to the table and grabbed the best male lead. Mariah looked at the half body of the little golden man in her hand, and she was stunned.